Hi, I'm Michelle from Michelle's Romantic Tangle, and today I'd like to share my $9 estate sale haul with you. I'm excited about this. So my husband and I had been to this estate sale on Friday when everything was full price. I bought a stitching book and he bought a coffee percolator, and on Saturday morning we were headed out to run some errands, and he asked me if there was anything I wanted to go back for since it was half price day. He was after something, I think a random charger for an old piece of electronics. I had seen this book, 501 Cross-Stitch Designs, the day before, and I keep seeing this book in the thrift stores. I want the book. I don't know if it's in the back of my mind that somewhere in my stash I already own this book. So I didn't want to pay $3 for it or whatever the thrift stores were asking, because they weren't cheap thrift stores. I decided for $1.50 I'd get it, I'd have it in my hands. If it turned out there's another copy lurking in my stash, I'd pass it along to one of my stitchy friends. So I plan on buying that book and the Cross Stitchers Complete Companion, 500 motifs for every occasion. So that was putting my budget up to $3. My daughter has recently moved into a very old mobile home with one of those wonderful old covered porches, and we've been talking about how nice it would look to find some macrame hanging planters to hang out there, except to make it look the way I envisioned in my head. I don't know what she's got envisioned in her head. It would take a lot of them, so they have to be cheap. I had seen a couple hanging in the house the day before and sent her a picture of this one, which for $2.50 seemed like not a bad deal. And as I was messaging her and sending her the picture, the guy running the sale came up and announced that it was by the bag prices. Anything you could fit into a plastic grocery bag for $3. That changes things. I sent my daughter a picture of the second macrame planter, and she wanted that one too. Now, my husband was with me, and he does not play the fill the game bag the same as I do. Because when they are saying as much as you can cram into a bag, and it is the last hour of the sale, I assume that they literally mean as much as you can cram into a bag. My husband has ideas of appearances, and I don't know what his rules for this game are. The planters were, at $3 each, they were fine, if that was all I could get in the bag. But I could get stuff in the bag with them. The only problem is they were still full of dirt and they were heavy. So unfortunately, as they were explaining the pricing, there was a woman standing next to me, asked me if she had heard them right, and she immediately started taking all of the silverware. She left some behind. I don't know how much is here. It's a lot. I have 3 teenage boys, and I do not know where the silverware goes, but there is never, ever, ever enough silverware in my house. And cheap estate sale silverware is much nicer than cheap Dollar Tree silverware, so I add to the collection whenever I can. I'd also seen this piece in the kitchen the day before. The brand is Glass Bake, which I'm not familiar with, but look at that farm scene. There was also a round covered dish with the same pattern, but another gentleman was clearing out the closets, kitchen cupboards, and picked that one up before I got back around that way, and congratulations to him. Hanging from the second of the planters was a string of bells. My daughter wanted the string of bells, and then my husband saw them and said if they're brass, he's keeping them, so the custody of the bells is yet to be determined. I'm not passionate about it either way. I've got bottle openers. We did not have a bottle opener in the house because usually I don't need one, but basically it was at the point where extra stuff tucked in the bags wasn't increasing the price any, and I'll use them in the kitchen. I'll put one in the travel trailer. Actually, I think I'm going to put one in the glove compartment of the car for road trips when the kids buy a pop that isn't twist top. And after I had all that sorted out, I went in the back bedroom. This house, they had cross-stitching books, surprising lot of them, but no needlework supplies. It was a living estate sale, so maybe she still has her supplies and is still using them. I had seen some old Aunt Martha's iron-on transfers and went back into the bedroom to tuck those into my bag. This is what I collect these. And if you can see, there is Slow as a Snail and a kitten and a bird, and inside these are still folded and uncut. I had not seen this pattern before, and I definitely want to do the snail and the eager as a beaver. These are just some flowers, and these are some really cute little girls in dresses. There was some embroidery floss. The day before there had been a big box of floss for $4, but I have floss. And then this bag had more floss, and like I said, there was room in my grocery bags. Adding them was not adding to the price, so I don't use plastic hoops, but I can pass that along. There was a dresser scarf that is stamped in color, so I don't think I want to stitch this. I think I want to incorporate it into something. I'll figure it out. A few skeins of DMC, and I got a kick out of this. I am now the owner of a gold number 26 tapestry needle. I'm sure I needed that. If you happen to know, there are 8, looks like brand new spools of this Gutermann Vissois thread. I googled, and it's for embroidery, but I'm not clear on whether that's machine embroidery or hand embroidery. There was not, it didn't look like a house where someone had had one of the big fancy new embroidery machines, so I'm not sure. I mean, it's pretty. I put the spools in a jar and use them to decorate my sewing room if it comes to that. And I found a new package of cardboard floss bobbins and an open package of cardboard floss bobbins. I'm always buying these for big projects, so again, I didn't really need them right that second, but I will use them. My husband bought some cords for electronics that he's trying to find cords for, and a 1982 Portavision portable TV radio with a 2-inch screen. We haven't got it working yet, but I think he's going to play around with it some more. And that whole by-the-bag pricing makes it basically free, so if it doesn't work, the world doesn't end. And a working digital camera that we are going to hand over to the boys for their movie-making adventures. And a really old sealed bar of Lifebuoy toilet soap, which explains the strange smell that is clinging to everything that's been sitting in the bags since we went to the sale the day before yesterday. So I went into the sale planning on spending $5.50 on my books and the one planter, and for an extra, what is that, $2.50? That's a neat haul. I don't hit these by the bag sales often, but boy, they're fun when they do pop up. I think it's been a year since the last one, and I'll put a link to that video here so you can check it out if you want to see what I got at that one. At that one, my husband was not shopping with me, the boys were, and they play the game differently. Basically, it was if you find a thing that you want and you can tuck it into the bag carefully with the things that I already have, it's yours. Of course, the things they wanted all had sharp edges, but we made it work. And got some fun things. I got some really cool ceramic squirrels at that sale that are still out on a tree in my yard, and because they were broken and glued back together, I don't have to worry about whether they fall out of the tree, knocked by a cat or a kid or the weather. I love estate sales. I'm so happy that estate sale season is kicking into high gear. I'm Michelle from Michelle's Romantic Tangle, and thank you so much for watching.